Hello and welcome to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well, beloveds. In all your way, and that you are moving into living truly life on your own terms, because that is what is available to us at such a time as this. And there's another story coming out of Ghana. I think this happened maybe a week or so ago. I don't know where have I been. Where have we been? I don't know how this passed my my eyes, but anyway, a very shocking story coming out of Ghana that I want to share with you. But it's really showing that our voices are being heard, and we are, our brother's keeper, we are our community keeper, and we are our nation keeper. Before I get into the story, thanks to every single person that has supported us on our Patreon and our PayPal accounts. We appreciate, love each and every one of you. Last month we were kind of in this, planting season, etc., etc. But now we are going to be getting you that freedom song like within the next few days. So definitely check your mail or check our Patreon page. Now, the Ghanaian Revenue Authority has locked up a Chinese factory that was recycling government textbooks as toilet paper. You heard me right. And this factory hadn't existed for like 6 months or just a year. It had been around for 6.5 years. About 5 Chinese were actually arrested at this factory. They were literally, I don't even know where they were getting these government textbooks from. They were literally taking government textbooks from wherever they were taking them, and they were recycling them and producing paper. And the only way they found this out is because someone tipped off the government. So you see, this is why I'm saying citizenry. We are the ones who must now keep an eye out, because obviously our government will turn a blind eye. Can you try and convince me that for 6.5 years the government revenue authority didn't know that this Chinese factory existed, or some official within the government revenue authority didn't know? And sometimes, seriously, it's our gatekeepers that are letting us down in Africa. As much as we want to blame the Chinaman, as much as we want to blame the Mzungu, it's really our own gatekeepers who are greedy, who are short-sighted, who don't have a patriotic heart, who don't have a pan-Africanist mind, who are just selling, Africa's soul, trying to sell Africa's soul to the devil, because it can't happen. So what happened is that, first of all, the Chinese factory was actually unlicensed. They called themselves Everyday Manufacturing Limited, located in an area called Awutu Senya constituency in the central region. And apart from illegally recycling cartons of government textbooks into toilet papers, the Special Revenue Mobilization Task Force said they didn't give them a receipt as well, which shows that they were not documenting their taxes, etc., etc. And what happened is that a Special Revenue Mobilization Task Force of the Ghanaian Revenue Authority actually was put into action after a tip-off from a patriotic Ghanaian, and thorough investigations were carried out. They did like a 2-week sting operation. We can do it too, guys. Of the company, and this was also carried out by the counterintelligence unit of the Ghanaian Revenue Authority, and the manager, the salesman, and a Ghanaian interpreter of the 6-year-old company have actually been picked up by the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghanaian Police Service, and the 3 were arrested and are currently on police inquiry into bail. Here, how does even someone come and open a factory to produce toilet paper, something that your own people can do? I wish some of these ministers, because they keep going on these benchmarking trips to Europe. If you saw Europe, they protect their basic industries so that their own people can do it, so that they don't have to keep borrowing money, because their own people are making a living so they can pay taxes, and the government would have the money instead of being beggars. They protect the agriculture industry, with crazy, what are they called? Not stipends, but that word. You'll give me that word in the comments. They protect, they safeguard their major industries so that the locals don't get bombarded. Because how does a Chinaman leave China, come to Ghana, and then not even just produce toilet paper, but use your books for your children, which you've probably gotten a grant from Europe to now produce toilet paper and make a killing? Hey, I swear we need to start vetting some of these people properly. because there's no, now governments, you're not going to be able to just go to Europe and get a handout or go to China and get a handout. This epidemic has, pandemic has totally destroyed all markets. So you can't now be relying on your former, the people you used to go with a begging bowl with. So, a statement was released by the Ghanaian Revenue Authority. They said, we're going to estimate the cost of the exercise books and other raw materials used for production of the toilet paper. And based on the estimate, the Commissioner General will be in a better position to issue the tax due after deducting from what the company has already paid. We're also going to impose not less than 75% of a taxes assessed as a penalty. Aye. Let me know what you think about this. They're not even talking about shutting the factory down. They're talking about, let everyone pay taxes so the government can get money. Some of these factories should be nationalized. Then you just give them to local youth to run. Idi Amin style. Until next time, beloveds. Tuko pamoja.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Hello and welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I pray you're well in all your ways and that you are living your best life. Thanks to every single person that has subscribed to the channel. You guys are super fantastic. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. It's absolutely free. Just hit that, subscribe button and hit the notification button so that you find out every single time we upload an episode. Now, I wanted to talk about how, Africa, we're taking our place in the world. And sometimes, we focus so much because we must ring the alarm of all the craziness that's happening on the continent. But there's also a lot of good happening, and there's a lot of we're really establishing ourselves on the international arena in many ways and taking our rightful place, which is absolutely awesome. And I'm talking basically about the Venice biennial. I don't know how to pronounce it, guys. Biennial. I don't know. And basically, it's basically something that happens every other year, and it was started in 1907, and I think it was started in Belgium in 1907, where all the different European countries would showcase their national art. And so you'd get all the greats coming and having these huge tents and huge art exhibits. I think it goes on almost for like 6 months or something, from May 11th, and it runs all the way till November 24th. And so you get to see each of the different countries' art. So now it's happening in Venice, and historically there's been very, very little African participation and African art displayed at such events. And so the events have been dominated by Eurocentric ideas of what art is. But now this is all changing, and what we're seeing now this year is that Ghana is actually getting everyone excited, and is getting the whole, one of the articles, The Guardian actually called it, shakes up the art sea of whiteness with first Venice pavilion. So what we're seeing is that Ghana has actually for the very first time constructed this amazing pavilion at this major art fair, and it's the first pavilion showcasing their national art, which and they've gotten all kinds of artists to kind of come together, black and white, and they picked both from Ghana and also internationally. Just to clarify, the very first biennial art exhibit actually took place in Belgium in 1907, and then it was held in Britain soon after, and then European countries have remained dominant, but now we're seeing an African presence, which is awesome. So the Ghanaians have they've brought in this huge exhibition, right? And I love the fact that they're featuring local and diaspora art as well. And they talked about the impulse to present a national pavilion came from conversations between philosophers and art historians in the diaspora and in Ghana, where they talked about how Ghana's cultural production was bigger than the punch it had internationally. And of course, African art is way older richer than any of the European art that could be displayed. And so this is absolutely, unprecedented. If you happen to be in Venice this year, go and support them. And it just shows you, and he's, the curator, he's called Akomfra. He said, in my view, art is a dialogue, and we have the biggest conversation on the planet here at Venice, and we wanted to be part of it, not because Ghana is more unique than any other African country. We just wanted to do it as best we can. But this is absolutely amazing because they show that for the last 100 or so years the world has actually been defined and transformed by art. Like, art is a very big influencer of culture, global culture. And since we're all just mixing our energies together as different nations across the world, it's very, very significant that Africa has a space. Wherever the world is having a conversation, Africa needs to have its own significant space.